Today we're taking a look at BeamNG.drive update 0.38. The heavy machinery / construction update is finally here. But before we take a look at the new trucks, first of all I'm going to show you the new quarry expansion added to the Italy map. So it's actually a very big quarry area, and if you want to know where it is on the map, it is in the bottom right area. Now, it's not only the quarry that's gotten updates, there are new roads and a tunnel, and all the dirt roads around the area have been updated as well, along with a new block yard area over here. Now for the quarry itself, there's a lot of areas. There's also a cave over here. And it overall looks very nice. Now before we take a look at the new trucks, the user interface continues to get improvements. Starting with the map selection screen, you can see it's completely overhauled and similar to the vehicle selector. So you can select all your settings right here, and when you select a location, you can do the same, but now you can select the next step. So you can select any vehicle. So we'll select the new dump truck. So once you select it, you can also select traffic, time of day, and day-night cycle from this screen, which is a huge improvement. There's also a new gameplay selector overhaul. So this kind of replaces the old scenarios screen. So now every type of mission is available right here, along with the campaigns, which is unfortunately appreciated now. Now you can also select challenges, campaign scenarios also right here, but it's a gameplay filter, so it filters out everything. So you can see it filtered out the campaigns. Now there are a few more UI changes, starting with the controls UI app on the top right. It has been moved from the middle area to the top right like it was before, which looks a lot better in the new kind of dark mode screen. So now you can actually hide it completely by pressing the I. You can select this to show the vehicle specific actions. You can also select everything from the controller. So if I press my modifier button, you can see all the actions right here, and it looks way cleaner than it did before, and the vehicle specific actions as well. There's also an overall messages app, so let's just break the truck to show you. So it just shows you all the new icons depending on what's broken. So I'll just dump this off a cliff to show you. So in the top left, you can see all the different UI icons showing up. And it looks way nicer in my opinion. It looks way cleaner. I can do the same with this one, might as well. There we go. Let's just throw the whole thing off the cliff. We just split that thing in half. You can see the huge amount of detail that's went on with the, not only the damage model, just the truck in general. So now let's take a look at the new Hirochi, forgot the name, Hirochi HT-55. This is the new dump truck, and it comes with a ton of configurations. This truck is a rigid off-highway 55-ton capacity dump truck. It's mainly for the quarry work, so it's not as big as the, if you remember the old Blaz mod for this game. It's not as big, but it's much more detailed and, you know, nicer looking, in my opinion. So what's unique about it is the steering. So it has a unique orbital hydraulic steering system, so you can see it also makes a sound as well. So it's not fast at the inputs, but that's realistic for it. It also has a hydraulic pump powered brake system, along with front brake lockout option and manually adjustable hill assist, which we can toggle all in the interior. So let's take a look at the interior. So it looks very nice. I mean, I never been in a dump truck, so I don't know how one looks like. But overall, it looks really nice. So another cool thing is if you select a button on the top right, you can see the what you're selecting. So you don't have to zoom in into the button anymore to see what it's labeled as. So it's very nice. Okay, so let's start pressing all the buttons, I guess. So that's the front door. So that's the front brake lockout. I'm not quite sure what that does, but we can experiment a bit later. So this is the hill assist. That's something we can actually test. So that's the hazards. So this is the toggle manual idle raise. So I guess it's helpful for when you're using the dump truck bit. That's the ignition and parking brake. So this is how you use it. You can use it on. You can use the controls in the interior, or you can use the controls listed above. So as you can see, this icon right here is how you control it. So all you have to do is just use the right joystick. You have to also press LB as well. So let's raise it all the way to see. Kind of hard to spin the camera while also doing this. We'll also be loading this with the rocks and stuff. How high does this go? Okay, so that's the max height that will lift to. Another thing that's hard to show off is the engine, which is absolutely massive. And there are lots of moving parts in here as well. Now it's hard to show off, so what I'm gonna do is go into the vehicle selector and just hide the frame and only show the engine. So this is what the engine looks like in the dump truck. That's a ton of radiators and oil coolers in front. That's the engine and transmission. Now the Hirochi WL-40 uses a different type of engine. This uses the Belasco diesel, while this uses its own Hirochi i6 diesel. It's a 20.4 liter. It's quite big. This is the same. I'm not sure. It might be the T series one. But you also got all the customization as well. Okay, so now let's take a look at the Hirochi WL-40. This is the wheel loader. So first of all, let's take a look at the options available. So you got all of these options: a tow tug, the block forks, the bucket, and a log sorting grapple, which we'll all take a look at a bit later. Now for the interactivity, now there you can open up the side panels right here for the engine. Now the engines, I'm pretty sure, is the same as the T series, so it's not too interesting to look at. But you can see the amount of detail that's gone on with this truck. On the inside is a bit different. You don't got a traditional steering wheel, but you do control it with these pedals. So that's the parking brake, that's the ignition. Now this is how you control the arm from the tilt and the lift. That's the horn. And right over here is the signal. And you can also open the door as well. Now to show you how the arm works, it shows you right here. So you have to press LB and then the corresponding button right here. So it's the left and right joysticks. So if I press the left one, it moves it this direction. It's actually quite fast, the hydraulics. Faster than dump truck for sure. And then you press this one to move it up and down. The next thing I'm going to show you are the new props / remastered props. So starting with the marble block. So it's a marble block that you can find at a quarry. So it comes from 19 to 38 tons. I'm pretty sure this is heavier than the steel coil now. So if I can find the steel coil. The steel coil is only 30 tons. So the marble block is actually heavier. But the cool thing about the marble block is that it can split apart. So you can have the one with the support underneath, which makes it easier to lift up. And this is what it looks like. So if I drop it from a height, it will break apart. Which is pretty cool. Now I got the this is the more heavy duty variant of the Hirochi HT-55. So it's slightly more powerful, more accessories, locking diff, and more mud flaps, etc. So let's put it in here. Okay, that did not work out. But let's try to put in a bit more gently because this is extremely heavy. That's kind of phasing through. Okay, so that should be close enough. What I want to experiment is with the hill start, which seems pretty cool. So I will go to a hill which is to our left to see how that works. I'm not sure if this is steep enough, but we'll try it right here. So if I stop right here and then try to accelerate, it can obviously go. Now I'm not sure what the brake lockout feature is, so if someone can explain it, that would be nice. But the hill start, we can activate it. We can do all the way to 100%. So now, I mean, it might made a difference. I can't quite tell, but it's a cool feature nonetheless. It might make a slight difference. This is also without the diff lock on. I want to see what happens when we drop the truck off. Yeah, so everything explodes. So let's try to lift something up with the Hirochi WL-40. So this also steers very uniquely. So it has like a joystick-operated hydraulic steering system. So it like kind of steers with the like the chassis. You can see. Like none of the wheels are turning. So now I'm not sure if this is the right attachment for the marble, but we can try. We got it in. Okay, that is a bit too heavy. What we can also take a look at is that other new prop, which are the rock pile. Now there's only one option, but it comes with 100. Now this is different from the other type of rock pile, which were the orange ones. These look more like the traditional rocks, and they make a new sound when you drop them. It's not quite as loud as you expected. Okay, so now we can try use this wheel loader thing to lift up some rocks, and we're gonna try to put it in the dump truck. That's our goal right now. So if I can remember the buttons. Okay, that's a bit too much. You kind of want to like flat like that. Okay, we got a decent amount in there. It's like I'm playing a construction sim now. I mean, this game probably does anything like this much better than, you know, proper games that are designed to do this. Okay, the steering is throwing me off. Okay, so now we can line it up right here. Okay, back up a little. Lift it up all the way. Okay, so now we can drop them in the truck. That's really cool. We can actually just do this in this game now. I don't think I did that completely perfectly, but it worked out. So now we can just do that a million times, or we can just drive truck. We can also dump them off the cliff if we want to. Okay, so we have a truck lined up right here. And now we can lift up the dump bed and pour out the rocks. Now there are a lot of gameplay scenarios you can do, which featured the dump truck and the wheel loader. These are kind of stuck in there. There we go. Now that's a perfect place for the rocks. You know, they'll just blend in perfectly. Okay, so now let's take a look at more configurations. This one is the ARM version. Oh, I think this version you can use with the marble blocks. This one should work a lot better. This is the heavy duty variant. Okay, now let's figure out how to use this thing. So we'll swap out this with the marble block. Well, let's do something a bit lighter. Let's just do the 19-ton one with block on rails, so it should be easier to lift up, hopefully. Like, you can see the spot where you can put the forks in, so it should be easier. It's facing the wrong way, of course, but you know, I can cheat. Okay, apparently not. We can just teleport this one. So it's the same controls you can use. So I'm just gonna put this down all the way. That should seem pretty good. Okay, that should be pretty good right there. Now we can lift it up. This is very sketchy right now. You can see how much the tires are deforming because how heavy this is. Okay, I'm gonna try to put it in sideways because I'm lazy. Okay, that's the wrong way. Once you get used to the controls, it's actually pretty easy. Okay, a bit higher. And more forward. Okay, now we should be able to drop it. We have done it. We did something. I mean, that's pretty good. Also, I forgot to mention this, but if you notice on the bottom right, the JATO app now actually supports higher RPMs than it did before. So previously, I think it was only like 13K, but now it can go up all the way to like past 35, I'm pretty sure. So now it looks a lot better with higher RPM vehicles, and also lower RPM vehicles like below 4,000 will display more accurately as well. So either this is gonna be really cool or underwhelming. That was more underwhelming. There is a new remastered prop in this update, which are the logs. So the logs have been completely reworked, which there are a lot more options, more lengths, and more style options as well, which are compatible with the wheel loader thing. The J-beam structure's also been completely overhauled. Like, they did not have to do this much detail with just logs. You know, only the BeamNG devs would do this. So the final kind of unique option for the WL-40 is the lift arm log sorting grapple. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to lift up the logs with this log grapple attachment. I'm hoping it's the same way as the other ones. There is another option, which I don't know what aux is. What's the keybind? TNG. Well, that's just the opposite of the this one. Okay, so I'm not sure if this will work, but we can try. No, unsurprisingly, it did not work. Who would have guessed? I mean, you can try to lift it up, but we just made a mess. Yeah, so I have to set the controls, which I might do a bit later. Because, yeah, this is not how you're supposed to do this. But in the meantime, I want to show you off something else, which is pretty cool. It's a new trailer with new trailer loads, in fact. So you can actually select the marble trailer loads from here, which I'll take a look at. So it's similar to the steel coil one. It only this trailer only supports one because this is absolutely heavy. There should be another one called the tire one. Okay, so this is the this is big tires and 4.5 tons, and this is 9 tons. So let's grab the biggest one like we can. This is how this one looks. So yeah, so new loads for trailers that you can haul with the T series, which are really cool. And also I need to mention that the tire prop, this uses the prop, I'm pretty sure, but the prop has been updated to match the tires from the new trucks, so it's much more similar to this style, which looks a lot better. Another thing that's new is the cinder block wall. So it's been slightly adjusted where the weight is more realistic and it makes new sounds when you destroy it. Drop it from a bit high up. Sounds much better. We can also drop it on here if you want to. I actually did a lot more damage. I made a mess right here. Let's continue adding to the mess because the concrete retaining wall has also got new sounds. It sounds more realistic, but it's not quite as loud as you would expect for this, because this is surprisingly heavy. If you know that. So let's drop it on here. Even from this height, it's gonna crush this easily. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is select one more configuration. Okay, so there's actually a JATO version of the HT-55 as well, but there's also a car crusher configuration. So you don't have to select this. But what should we crush? Okay, so now I have to tab through all this mess. So this variant should be a bit easier to crush vehicles with. There's also a diff lock you can use. I have to push the car against something, which will probably be easier. There we go. You can see. Once you get over like the hood, it should be a lot easier. There we go. So once you get over, it crushes it extremely easy. This variant will also be pretty fun for traffic. What's even more fun is the JATO version, which we haven't taken a look at yet. So of course they have to make a JATO version. Dump truck too slow, let me fix that. Yeah. So it is not going to make it go a million miles per hour. It's still a very heavy truck, so it's gonna go more car speeds, more normal car speeds. So let's crash into a wall because to see what will happen. I love how this thing falls apart. There should be a cliff here. Yep. Fly. Oh yeah, the engine has fallen out. Everything's, broken. This one, I don't know if it can split apart. I don't think it can. I mean, everything can fall off of it. There have been a lot more UI changes that I cannot fully cover. For example, in the UI apps, the screen has been updated to match the rest of them, which looks a lot better and makes finding your UI app a lot easier. I cannot really show off performance improvements and small changes like that, so I highly suggest you read the changelog. I can show you the new missions. If you go into gameplay selector, should be new missions. So here are the new missions for 0.38. So it's the top ones. I sorted it by dates, which you can do that in this screen now, which is very helpful. So there is the new rally loop option available. There isn't much time left in this video, so I will do a separate video because this is very cool and I do want to take a look at this. It is quite long, as you can see, and then the rest of the challenges as well, which we might take a look at. If you're interested, let me know and I will do a separate video for all the challenges. Also, in the quick start experiences, there are new options available. I guess this is a good way to show off the update without having to set up everything. There is also the logging thing, which I couldn't quite figure out how to use this, which I don't know, maybe explains it better here. But anyways, the career mode has gone a lot of changes, which I cannot really fully cover, but I will show you the changelog, which is something very cool added in this update. So now you can actually negotiate prices when buying or selling vehicles with another person. So it's like kind of a marketplace kind of thing, or like a texting. You can text back and forth the price you want to negotiate. Now the insurance has been completely overhauled as well. You know, I will show you the changelog because I cannot read every single thing. This is basically just insurance simulator at this point, career mode, and also dealerships have been updated as well. Another really cool thing that's kind of hard to show off is the world editor tools. Now I could show them off and like learn how to use them and stuff, but I'd rather just show it off from the changelog. So there are a ton of new improvements and changes and additions to the world editor, which makes, you know, modding and just content creation in general a lot easier if you use some of these tools, and I will show them off on screen right now. Now before I end the video, I will take the JATO dump truck through the tunnel, because who does not like tunnels? I have to drive through a tunnel at least once, so let's take the JATO dump truck. Now there are also a lot of improvements to the AI traffic, which is kind of hard to show off from just general improvements to how they behave, but they are a lot better in this update. Yeah, I got the dump truck for a reason, and we're gonna smash through all those cars. Yep, that is chaos. And we have crushed the poor I-Series as well. Now that should cover almost everything in this update. Now there are a lot of small changes and improvements and optimizations throughout. That's why it's not the biggest update, but it's still pretty big. Like, we got the new quarry, the 2 new trucks, a lot of changes to the props, and a lot more that it's hard to show off a lot of the small things in this update. So I highly suggest you read the changelog. So in the next video, I should hopefully take a look at the new rally mode, because this is really cool. Something that I've kind of been wanting for a while after all these. So yeah, let me know what you think of this update. I think it's quite amazing. I know a lot of people are going to complain about another like kind of truck update, but honestly I do not care, because this is really cool and the game needed this a lot, because no other game can simulate trucks this well to this degree. So yeah, that should be everything in this update. Now I will try to take this around the destruction track for my new series. I don't know if this will fit. That's my main concern, but if it does, I will 100% take this around there to see how well it will do.